Good day, folks. Everything new under the sun. Big Brother is watching you. And I've said this before many times, and this is what the Bible says is going to happen in the last days. There's going to be a world government. There's going to be an antichrist figure. There's going to be a one world currency. There's going to be a one world government that is tracking everything you do, and they're going to control everything you do. Bible says that all are going to take the mark effectively. If you don't take the mark, you won't be able to buy or sell. It says no man may buy or sell save he that has the mark. So they will completely control you. And you think, well, I can buy and sell. I don't need the mark to buy and sell. No, you're not going to be able to. Anybody who buys and sells with you will go to jail if they have the mark, and they'll be tracking you everywhere. Your cell phone that you carry in your back pocket everywhere you go is tracked real time by your own military, the militaries of the world. It's tracked and logged in probably certainly multiple databases. And you can look back at the history of cell phone usage and where someone has traveled, and it doesn't matter if you're a target of a police investigation or whatever. That you can just go out and purchase that information if you want. You can purchase that data and do your own data mining on that data if you want. There's a price on everything. And so they're tracking you everywhere with everything. And they're going to get you so accustomed to a world where you need your cell phone everywhere. And slowly we are moving away from cash. Slowly companies are going more and more to just assuming that you have a cell phone, that you have a device on your person at all times for two-factor authentication, for example. They just assume you do. And me, I don't have a cell phone. And the company I work for, just assumes that. And when you say, "Oh, I don't have a cell phone," people look at you sideways. When any company, if you deal with a bank, and they say, "Oh, can you just give us your cell phone number? We'll send you a confirmation two-factor authentication text," and you say, "Well, I don't have a cell phone," they almost don't believe you. They almost say, they almost come out and think you're lying because everybody has a cell phone. And I say all that to say that you're being tracked everywhere, and there is the potential that all your movements are being tracked. They are. All your conversations are being recorded. They can be eavesdropped on, and all they can turn the camera on if they want. Hackers can turn on the camera and use that. So if hackers can do it, militaries, intelligence services can do all that. It says 150 EU officials expected to monitor Musk-Weidel chat, possible ban on the table. Now, what is this about? Well, this is talking about Germany and the AfD party, which is a conservative party in Germany. And the leftist government there is trying to destroy the Germany, quote-unquote populist party, this conservative-leaning or right-leaning party. They're trying to destroy them. They're even going to all the members of the AfD party, those who have signed up to say, "I want to be a member of this party, this political party," and they're removing the gun licenses from them and restricting their firearms access, removing their firearms access, by the way. So it's like me, if I had a firearms license and I was a supporter of the trucker convoy in Ottawa, it's like the government coming down and say, "Look, I saw you supported the trucker convoy for $20. We're going to remove your firearms license as a way to punish you." That's exactly what they're doing in Germany with this party here. It's absolutely incredible. We are in, totalitarian government territory. They're seeing it there. And so Musk is wanting to interview this more populist, this more conservative party, this party that they're getting millions behind because millions of people in Germany see that the totalitarian government is taking over and they don't like it. But the government is trying to hold on to control. And so Musk and this person are going to have a conversation, and they're coming out and saying, we're going to track and record all this. Why? Well, just like in the UK, if there's any sort of hate speech, they're going to take you to court. They're going to put you in jail. They're going to charge you with hate speech. And they're probably going to attempt to charge Musk with some sort of hate speech, or maybe this Alice Weidel. They're going to try and for lack of a better term, trump up charges on her from this conversation to see if they can get her in jail for some reason. You know, it's like the saying, "You find me the person, and I'll find you the crime." They're gonna figure out a way to put this person in jail, so that they can't be the leader. It's just like what's a guy's name, Alexei, in Russia, who was a leader of the opposition against Russia. And what did the KGB do, or whatever the new name of that intelligence organization? Well, they put him in jail several times. They arrested him several times. They even poisoned him. And finally, they put him in jail, and he died in jail finally, once and for all, because he kept popping his head up. And that's what communist governments do, by the way, Putin in Russia. And they're using this exact same tactics in Europe. Now, what's crazy about this is that in Europe, they're even talking about banning X, or Twitter, in Europe. Twitter is kind of benign in my way, I think. But maybe I don't. Maybe I see it that way because I'm more on the right side of the spectrum. I'm certainly not left. That's for sure. I am certainly more conservative from a Christian point of view. So maybe I don't see it as threatening, but they see it as threatening. And they are looking to ban that. Can you imagine that the governments of the EU, the European Union, are considering banning and removing access to that? Now, I don't agree with the ban of TikTok. Even if it's a foreign government, foreign agency coming in there, I still have the free choice to use that service or not, right? Trump was wanting to get rid of TikTok because of foreign interference. But if you're for free speech, you got to say, well, we got to let people make up their own decisions. People are going to mess up their own lives or give up their own information. You can't always ban all that stuff. And without X, without, outlets like that to get your news, where do you get your news from in Europe? Do you have to start running VPNs? The next thing is that the European Union and the EU governments are going to ban VPNs because they want to track and control everything. Now, once they do all that, what does that sound like? That sounds like China. That sounds like a totalitarian communist government control. That's the way things are going in Germany. In the UK, they have hate speech laws where if you say something derogatory, negative towards somebody else, they can charge you with hate speech and you'll be going to jail because you said some words. That is incredible, folks. And the Bible describes a time when it's worse than that. In fact, that you won't be able to buy or sell. Not that you won't be in jail, but even more insidious, that you won't be able to get a mortgage. You won't be able to get a bank loan. You won't be able to hold a bank account. What did they do during the trucker convoy? They froze bank accounts. They effectively removed people from the economy who were supporting the trucker convoy against Justin Trudeau and the Liberal government in Canada. That's what they did. So if they did that in a time of peace, in a time of supposed democracy, what are they going to do when these liberal governments really get control of things and start changing Supreme Courts and all these sorts of things? Folks, we are moving towards a time, and the Bible says there's no going back. We're moving towards a time of totalitarian government, communist, total dictatorship control of our lives and of the economy, and people will accept it, except for the Christians who understand that the Antichrist is running the show at that point. And if you do not accept the mark of the beast, you won't be able to buy food, and no one's going to give you food because they're going to be tracked. The government's going to know that their cell phone was somewhere near, a homeless person, potentially giving them food, and their credit score will decrease, just like China has right now, and they may not be able to hail a taxi, or maybe their own bank accounts will be shut down. So there will be incentive from people who have accepted the mark of the beast to not interact with anybody who hasn't accepted it. There will be punishments, and there will be they'll kind of gamify it where they'll give you something extra if you do the will of the government, if you go along with them, if you ignore, the people who might be trying to stay outside of the system, and they'll make everybody outside of the system criminals effectively at that point. So the claim is that there are fears that Musk's team will manipulate the algorithm in X to provide the interview more attention, i.e. to get the party, this political party in Germany, the AfD, to get their political view out there to more people and basically more support for, this party. and then the leftist government wouldn't be able to contain that support, right? And then they would have more firearms owners they'd have to remove the licenses from, and maybe they'll talk about freezing bank accounts too, to get rid of this party, which they do not like. This is not democracy, folks. This is not democracy. This is totalitarianism. This is communist government dictatorship. Weidel also has taken to X about the surveillance of the upcoming interview. Big Brother is watching you. That says, an EU that uses its bureaucracy to exercise censorship on social media is instilling the spirit of unfreedom. The DSA threatens democracy, she wrote. And again, they're looking at banning X, just as Trump has, suggested he would ban TikTok. Did they do that in the U.S.? I don't know. In Canada, it's not banned. I'm not saying I'm not saying TikTok is a good thing. Certainly, any sort of social media is probably a bad thing for most of us, but it does allow us to see things that we otherwise wouldn't see. So if you are wise about it, use it with a brain, it can be very useful in a democracy, but they do not want democracy. This is RT.com. Musk, this is their propaganda site, of course, Russia's. Musk plotting to remove UK's Starmer. So the Starmer government in the UK voted down a request to open up an inquiry into, I don't even know if I can say it, gang, RAPE, allegations across Europe by the illegal immigrants. Supposedly illegal immigrants are doing something, to the people of the females over there. You can go. I think you know what I'm talking about. I have to be very, very careful what I say. But his party voted the inquiry down. You would think it would be a good thing to look into illegal activities, and so they're looking at Musk, and Musk is the enemy again, because he is posting on his own app, his own software, that the Starmer government maybe is not so good. The U.S.-based billionaire and confidant of Trump, Musk recently made several public announcements that critics say constitute political interference. So they'll make it illegal to do any sort of political interference, and they'll declare this to be political interference, and they'll take you to jail. They'll make laws about things they want to take you to jail for, just like hate speech laws. That's what they did in the UK. And by the way, that's coming to the U.S. and Canada. Hate speech laws. They're trying to implement that. They're trying to crunch and lock down free speech, by the way. And during the last days, the Bible describes a time where there is no free speech, where there is no freedom anymore. And I don't know that all countries abide by that go along with it. Certainly not all people will, but I think there's going to be a lot of persecution, significant hard times for Christians. I don't think we know the half of how hard it's going to be. And there will be a lot who turn away from Christ simply because it's too hard to turn away and to make a decision for Christ and against the Antichrist, because you'll have your friends and your neighbors and your family saying, you are an idiot if you don't take the mark of the beast. They're not going to call it the mark of the beast. If you don't take this thing from me. If you don't take this mark in your right hand or forehead and come into the world government, then you're not my friend. You're not part of my family. You're not my son. You're not my daughter anymore. Now, does that sound like what happened during the pandemic with the you-know-what? I was personally affected by that. Family suggesting that I was an idiot and using all the words under the sun for, all the name calling and saying, you're disgusting, you're terrible, you're putting my life at risk, and etc. This is what they'll say when the mark of the beast comes out, and they want you to be part of that, by the way. There will be great persecution and pressure on Christians to accept the mark, and I think many will turn away from God and accept it. Those who are weak in the faith and maybe never were saved in the first place, they will turn away. They will go the easy route. Remember, the Bible talks about the wide path, the hard path, the easy path, and the narrow path, the hard path. Most will go by the wide, easy path. And when the narrow, hard path narrows further, they will switch onto the wide, easy path because they'll be pressured into it by friends and family. Nobody understood or had experienced before the sort of family and political pressure and societal pressure there was during the pandemic to get the solution to it. Huge pressure, huge emotional pressure. I can't express to you, I don't know if I'd call it PTSD, but how that hurt for really family members to turn on family members who had not taken the whatever and calling them ignorant and stupid and every single name. It's absolutely incredible. Anyways, I'm rambling. Suffice it to say, Bible speaks of these times. We should expect it. It's going to get far harder from here. I'm just warning you. I'm coming out here saying this gets worse, far worse. There it is. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.